What is up, guys? Me, Josh here, bringing you a quick video on a new ship, the German Tier 3 premium battleship, the Konig Albert. This is coming to World of Warships very, very soon. I'm excited to kind of do a quick little preview of the ship. I haven't even played it, literally just got it, and I'm excited to play it tonight on my stream. There'll be a link down below if you guys want to check it out. And we'll be playing with this ship, and I'm excited to do a final review after the stream tonight as well. So this is kind of a quick preview of the ship. I'm kind of going to compare it to what the other Tier 3 battleships that are out right now, its strength, its weaknesses, its possibilities of what it could and could not do, and kind of compare it to what is already in game. So the Konig Albert is a Tier 3 German battleship. This is kind of perfectly lined up with the German battleship line just being released relatively shortly ago. And if you guys can see the gun layout, it's very, very similar to the Tier 4 Kaiser. I would almost say it's almost like an A-hull. If there was like maybe it went up to C-hull, it would be the stock. But it's basically like a stock. I have the A-hull on right now. It's kind of like a stock Tier 4 Kaiser. And if it's a Tier 4 and a Tier 3 world, it's going to make it relatively strong. And if you look at the stats on the Konig, I think it will be relatively strong. So let's kind of compare it to just the Tier 3s. We'll click off the Tier 4s. And the Konig Albert actually has the highest health pool in all of the Tier 3 battleships. The South Carolina is relatively, oh no, what was it? The Nassau is relatively close at 35,000. The Kawasaki is right up there, almost 39,000. But the Konig actually has 41,300 life. They may not seem like a massive amount, one shot, but if you remember how kind of soft the guns hit at that tier, especially kind of the flamethrowers that are some of the Tier 3 ships, that's actually a decent amount. I mean, it's going to be one salvo from a battleship or something like that, but you got to remember how the German battleships play. They don't really take citadels or anything like that, but they can deal them. So it'll be kind of interesting to see how this thing does in the lower tiers and how it kind of competes with the other battleships at the tier, having a bit more health. You know, it's not a 10, 15, 20% more health, but it is an actual little help. You know, you're rocking 4,000 more than anything else at that tier, so that's definitely a bit of an advantage. You're looking at the armor. It's actually the most armored battleship of all the Tier 3s with 19 millimeter minimum up to 350 millimeter minimum, with the guns having up to 350 millimeters. So I'm not expecting the guns to get knocked out too often, and the Citadel actually being 40 to 265 if you compare something like the South Carolina with a bit more, but it's going to be relatively strong with this type of kind of armor that the Germans have. So I'm kind of interested to see how this thing does. Like I said, a lot of the German battleships aren't really hit that hard with the Citadels, but they do take a decent amount of AP penetration damage, so I'm kind of interested in that. It's tied for the highest 19% for torpedo reduction. Those umakazes, those walkie-talkies, those Tier 3 destroyers tend to torpedo heavy and often, so I'm interested to see how this thing does against those. Now, the main batteries has some of the main batteries. Now, the Nassau was its own special thing with its 283 millimeter guns, where it shot every 22.2 seconds. Konig is right there with the Kawasaki and the South Carolina, having the 305s every 30 seconds, 172 millimeter dispersion, 22% chance of fire on the 340 damage, 3400 damage HE shells, with 8300 for the AP shells. Firing range of 10.8, which doesn't seem crazy, but it's right up there with the longest range if you check all these out. I mean, it's almost the only one that can shoot farther is actually the South Carolina. So the range is actually relatively strong for this tier. I'm actually excited to see how this does. The South Carolina just barely beating it by 3/10 of a kilometer. So that's pretty awesome. You can outrange the Kawasaki and the Nassau, so that it will make it relatively strong. Now, I do like the look of this ship in general. I think that's kind of cool. It's a Tier 4 ship in a Tier 3 body. Like I said, I haven't played it yet, so I am excited to play it. And we'll kind of do a review afterwards. The secondary is going to be relatively strong with the big captain, since it is a premium. You can switch over any captain you want into it, and I'm super excited about the secondaries at this tier. A lot of, basically all the destroyers outside of the Japanese are going to have short-range torps. So with an advanced firing training captain, you're going to be almost 5 kilometers, and that's kind of about the range of most of the DDs. So your secondaries will be engaging DDs before they will actually be able to get torps on you. So that'll be kind of cool, a nice little weapon. I don't know if I would maybe go a manual secondary build. It might be kind of fun having that ability. Everything within the nearly will be 4.8 kilometers. Everything within that range will start getting lit up by the secondaries, hitting a maximum HE shell damage of 1100. So that'll be kind of neat to see how those things actually do. when getting close to stuff. So 10.8 kilometer main bat range, just keep that in mind. And at max, you can have 4 of your turrets on one target. It has that weird kind of middle layout that the Kaiser has. So we'll kind of see how that does in the long run. At A defense, it is tier 3, so it's very, very low, 3 kilometers. I would be surprised if you're going to even see really too many planes. You will be up tiered a couple times, so you'll be going against Ling or Hosho. You're a tier 3 battleship. The one downside is it does look like one of the longest battleships for the tier. Maybe the Kawachi might give it a run for its money, but you are kind of a long, broad ship for tier 3. So when a CV would have a bit of a trouble going for a Nassau or a South Carolina, you're going to be a bit longer, a bit more skinny, so it might help with some dodging of some torpedoes or whatnot. But you could definitely be a bit better target for maybe getting hit by an aircraft carrier, so that might be a bit of a downside for the ship. Maximum speed 21 kilometers, I believe, making it the fastest tier 3 battleship by 1 kilometer. So there we go. So if they're racing any other battleship, they will win that. Turning circle radius of 600 meters, rudder shift of 12.1 seconds. So that's pretty awesome. And then I think it's the second most stealthy battleship. I think just behind. Oh, that's the third, actually. So the Nassau just beats it, so the line. So 11.2 kilometer detection range. So you will be spotted before you shoot, assuming you don't have a 15-point captain with concealment expert, and 9.8 on the detected by air. So any planes will be able to detect you as well. So I'm excited to play this ship. You have a bit extra health to kind of play around with, maybe get a bit more greedy. The big shells, so I'm excited to now Citadel. That was the one downside about the Nassau at the tier 3, is you couldn't really Citadel the other battleships, so this is going to have the chance to maybe do that. I'm excited to play it and test to see how these guns do. And yeah, using the armor at its advantage, be relatively aggressive, use the secondaries. I may try a secondary build to see how it goes. And yeah, this looks like the ship might be relatively agile too. Now the Nassau is going to be a bit more agile at 600 or 510 meters for its turning circle. So we'll see though. We'll see. Like I said, it's kind of a tier 4 battleship in a tier 3 body. So we'll see how that kind of works. Now the Kaiser wasn't everybody's favorite, but how would the Kaiser do if it's paired against tier 3 ships? Will that make it a bit stronger? That's usually how it is. If a ship isn't that good at a certain tier, it would definitely be better at a lower tier. So I'm really, really excited. This is my quick preview, guys, on the Konig Albert. Be sure to tune into my stream tonight. We'll be playing it for a few games, getting a good feel of it, and seeing how it competes against other tier 3 battleships and just in tier 3 and tier 4 probably in general. So it should be a lot of fun. But this is it for this video, guys. Look forward to my review on the ship later tonight. I'll be posting it, and looking forward to playing it, guys. Hope you guys had a good one, and I will catch you guys next time.